Hello there. Before we get started, I'd just like to say, if you're liking what I'm doing here, if you're liking this video or any others that I've been doing, can you please like, share and subscribe? This is still a really small channel and I'm trying to grow as much as I can. I have also started a second channel called Nerd.World Films, where I do slightly more specialized videos. I do breakdowns of movies, I do things you didn't know. It's a lot more specialized than this channel, which is quite generalized. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to check that out. There might also be a little button somewhere. If you like that channel too, please like, share and subscribe over there too. And with that said, let's get started with this video. In this episode, we are exploring a bit of a sci-fi trope. A warrior race known as the Gelf, or the Daggers from Seaquest. Gelf standing for genetically engineered life form. The Gelfs were engineered in the darker age of genetics in the Seaquest universe in the years 2001 to 2003. They were bioengineered to fight wars with heightened strength, agility, stamina and intellect over an average human. In appearance they appear basically human, except for a natural camouflage to their skin. Their species are also generally quite athletic and or very muscular built, as they were engineered for war. This is a trope seen a few times in sci-fi, such as with races such as the tanks from Space Above and Beyond, the clones from Star Wars, the Astartes from Warhammer, the Spartan 2 program from Halo. You see it quite a lot. This was Seaquest's voyage into that. You're first introduced to the Daggers, as their nickname is by normal humans, through the character of Dagwood, the janitor aboard the Seaquest DSV. He was an imperfect prototype, created as the first of his kind, but he was less intellectual than the others, with also underdeveloped fighting skills, but did retain much of the physical strengths and other physicalities of the species, just without the mental capacity to really be used as a true soldier, and as a result he was assigned to the Seaquest cleaning crew, where he remained. But thanks to sanctions and restrictions placed on the development of these super soldiers, they were eventually banned and no more were being produced. The ones that had already been made were rounded up and sent to Dagger Island, basically a concentration camp where they were all left in exile. These daggers would eventually, due to their heightened intellect, basic human nature for a desire to be free, learn that they could reproduce naturally on their own without the need for genetic engineering assistance. They decided to make a bid for freedom. They would take hostages in an effort to demand their freedom in exchange for the safe return of the hostages. Due to their physical superiority and increased intellect, taking out the Daggers, as they were derogatorily known, was not going to be easy. Some wanted to simply kill them, as many saw them as abominations. There was an underlying current of racism and intolerance towards them by many of the guards. The Daggers, though, were, as I stated, genetically enhanced humans. They were not going to be so easily defeated. Eventually, though, a peaceful resolution was found, and the Daggers would have gained their freedom, and the hostages would be released safely. Although this wouldn't be the end of the troubles for the species, it was at least the beginning of their freedom and their emancipation from what was effectively false imprisonment and borderline slavery at the hands of normal humans, their creators. Engineered for a war that ultimately never happened, they were not truly tested in battle against an enemy they were meant to fight, but thanks to their enhancements, they would gain their freedom. They would eventually be free. Now, I know there's not a lot of information on the Gelfs. Aside from general bits of trivia, there isn't a great deal of them explored in the Seaquest universe. I felt that they were a bit of a underappreciated subplot of the show, which could have been explored more. There could have been a lot more done with them. But, as I said, this is a bit of a sci-fi trope, and many other sci-fi series have explored this idea in much greater detail, very notably being the Warhammer franchise. in both game form and in what little's been explored elsewhere, in the form of the Astartes, the transhuman super soldiers of the Imperium of Man. Not to mention the clones, although technically not augmented really in any way, they're just effectively top specimen humans. It has been an idea bounced around in sci-fi since the 90s, particularly with other shows like Space Above and Beyond, as stated with the tanks, who were basically the same as the Gelf, engineered for a war. They didn't do so well in it because they were hard to control, and they were only really distinguishable from normal humans by the so-called nipple neck, as it was sometimes known, which was basically a belly button on the back of their neck where their umbilical had been connected during their embryonic stage. So let me know what you guys think. Did you know about the Gelf? Had you watched Seaquest before? Do you remember them? Do you agree? Do you think there could have been more exploration of their story in the universe, more than what we got, which was effectively a 2-hour TV special and a few cameo appearances throughout the series? I always felt there could be. Please rate them up in the top corner. I'm curious to know what everyone actually thinks of them. Right, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Again, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.